Good afternoon. I welcome all of you to the lecture Advanced Software Engineering and Technology. In today's lecture, we will see analysis. This presentation I have taken from Object Oriented Software Engineering and Technology. In analysis, we will see first introduction about the analysis. In introduction, we will cover introduction and optical illusion. Is this presentation visible to you?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. After introduction, we will see an overview of analysis, analysis concepts, analysis object models and dynamic models, entity, boundary and control objects. After this, we will see generalization and specification, and again we will see the activities, analysis activities from use case to objects, identifying entity objects, identifying boundary objects, identifying control objects, mapping use cases to object with sequence diagrams. All we will see one by one. Analysis result. Introduction. Analysis result in a model of the system that aims to be correct, complete, consistent, and ambiguous. Analysis. What is the result of analysis? What we are thinking in analysis? We will think about the correct, complete, consistent, and unambiguous. There should not be any ambiguities after the analysis. What are the important things? Which are the correct things? After requirement elicitation, suppose we have acquired information from client, from user, and then we will make some analysis. In analysis, our software should be correct, so that we will design the correct and complete design of the software, as well as we will correct the consistent design and the unambiguous. There should not be any ambiguities, any difficulties to understand or to complexity into the software. So the analysis is important. In analysis, we have to do this. Developer formalize. In analysis, developer formalize the requirement specification produced during the requirement elicitation and examine in more detail boundary conditions and exceptional cases. Developer validate, correct, and clarify the requirement specification. As a developer, we have to formalize according to the specification of the requirement, and which requirement we have elicited, collected from user. Elicitation means collection from the users. Collection of the information means elicitation. And after that, examine more detailed boundary conditions and exceptional cases. Sometime what happen, we not able to find the exact boundary of the control. Suppose one function is there, and how much area should be in that function, that should be clear. For that, analysis is to be important. Developer validates, correct, and clarify the requirement specification. As a developer, we have to validate, correct, and clarify the requirement specification. If any error or ambiguities are found, the client and the user are usually involved in this activity when the requirement specification must be changed and when additional information must be gathered. suppose we don't have complete information as a developer, or we have some error as a developer into the information which information we have collected from user, that is not linking to each other, then in that condition we have to take the help of the client and users for making the information error free, and accordingly we have to additional information gathered from the user and the client. This is an important into the analysis step. In object oriented analysis, developers built a model describing the application domain. In analysis object oriented model, developer built a model describing application domain. All application domain we have to describe with the help of object oriented analysis. For example, the analysis model of a watch describe how the watch represent time. Does the watch know about leap year? We have to examine, we have to make the analysis about the system as a developer. We know satellite watch, okay, we know satellite watch, and there we can see the time, okay, no problem. But there is the question we have to ask as a developer, does the watch know about the leap year? These questions is to be arises for the analysis purpose. Similarly, does it know about the day of the week, which day from the week, how much day is remain into the week, how much day we completed in this week, is this there? That should be analyzed. Again, we can ask question like this, does it know about the phase of the moon, phases of the moon in watch? Is there any function, or does it know about the moon phases, means midnight, morning, evening, like that? Is there in our watch? Like this for questions we have to ask for analysis purpose. The analysis model is then extended to describe how actors and system interact to manipulate the application domain. Once we have made the analysis, then it should be extended towards the actor and the system interaction manipulation into the application domain. How user will work with this watch is there. If we want to change the time, who will change the time of watch? User will change the time of watch. Then how the interaction will takes place, that we have to analyze. We have to extend our analysis toward the communication in between actor and the system, interaction in between system and the actors. We have to extend our analysis towards in this application domain model and ask question like this, how does the watch owner reset the time? How as a watch owner we will reset the time of watch? How does the watch owner reset the day of the week? If we want to change the day of the week, and we want to reset the day of the week, then how it will be? As a watch user, how we have to interact with the watch to change the date, that should be analyzed as a developer. Again, developer use the analysis model. As a developer we have to use analysis model together with non-functional requirement to prepare for architecture of the system developed during the high level design. This is a short introduction about the analysis. We have to use analysis model. We have to ask some questions to ourselves to find out the errors in the information. If information is incomplete, then we have to complete that information with communication to the user and client. Is it understood? Is it understood to you?
Yes, sir.
Optical illusion. You see, if we see on this figure 5.1, ambiguity, what do you see? आपको इसमें क्या दिख रहा है? What you are looking in this figure?
Two faces shadow.
Two faces shadow is there. Okay. Someone can say there is a pot. In this pot we can keep the bouquet pot. Like this bouquet we can put in this pot. In 1950, Rubin exhibited a drawing similar to the figure 5.1 to illustrate the concept of multi-stable images. What do you see? Two faces looking at each other. If you focus more closely on the white area, you can see a vase instead of the faces. Vase, pot of the flowers. Once you are able to perceive both shapes individually, it is easier to switch back and forth between the vase and the faces. You see both shapes individually, it is easy to switch back. As a faces we can consider, as a pot also we can see if we look at only the white area of the image. This is an optical illusion. If the drawing in figure 5.1 had been a requirement specification, which model should you have constructed? Specification like multi-stable images. Constant ambiguity caused by the inaccuracies inherent to natural language and by the assumptions of the specification authors. For example, a quantity specified without a unit ambiguity. Example, feet or miles. Suppose there is a distance. Okay. Is it inch or centimeter? Like that, the quantity specified without unit is ambiguity. We cannot make it clear. Is it inch or centimeter? Similarly, feet or miles. Example in section given, it is in a previous section. A time without time zone is ambiguous. Example, scheduling a phone call between different countries is ambiguous. Suppose you have taken your mobile, you are with your mobile phone in your native country, and you left native country and you are at in different country. Then in that case, suppose you have wear any analog watch in your hand, the time will be vary. Your mobile phone will show different time. According to the country, it will upgrade itself, but your watch will not be upgrade. That is the ambiguity. For like these ambiguities, we have to make the analysis to get more clear about the acquired information, about the which information we have elicited from the user. Is that information sufficient to develop the software or not? That analysis we have to do as a developer. If there is any information lacuna, or there is insufficient information with us, then we have to communicate with the client, with the user, and ask again the information which are missed from our requirement elicitation, and again take that information for analysis purpose. For that, formalization helps identify area of ambiguity as well as inconsistencies and omission in a requirement specification. Once developer identify the problem with specification, they address them by eliciting more information from the users and the client. Once you have got the information as a developer, then we can identify the specification and address that information, eliciting information with the users and client. Requirement elicitation and analysis are interactive. Analysis and the requirement elicitation, both things are the interactive. They are interdependent on each other, and incremental active that occur concurrently. You know that information may increase if we communicate again with user. Your information may be increased with communication, so that information incremental activities. Analysis focus on producing a model of the system called the analysis model, which is the correct, complete, consistent, and verifiable. Analysis is different from requirement elicitation in that developer focus on structuring and formalizing the requirement elicited from the user. We will see this in the figure 5.2. This formulation leads to new insight and the discovery of the error in the requirement. Now see, analysis is different from the requirement elicitation. Requirement elicitation means not the analysis. Developer focus on structuring and formalizing the requirement which is elicited from user into the analysis. In analysis, what we have to do? We have to structure and formalize the information which we have collected from the users, and this formulation lead to new insights and discovery of error in the requirement. If there is error, we have to talk with the user. If there we discovered some error into the information during the analysis, again we have to collect that information. Is it understood? As the analysis model may not be understandable to the user and the client, developer need to update the requirement specification to reflect insight gained during the analysis. Then review the change with the client and the users. In the end, the requirement, however large, should be understandable by the client and user. Once suppose you are doing analysis, okay, when you will be able to do the analysis? If you have the information collected from the user, okay. Now during the analysis, if there is any problem, missing information, you will collect that information again with the help of user, with talking to user and client. And that again we have to formulate, because that information will be increased. Okay, you have increased the information by communicating again with user and client, then that should be understandable. You increase information that should be understandable to the users and client. This is an figure, an overview of analysis. Figure 5.2, produce product of requirement elicitation and analysis. UML activity diagram. This is activity diagram. You have to design like this diagram in the practical sessions. Activity diagram. You see in this activity diagram, first requirement elicitation. Once you have requirement elicitation, which type of requirement we have to elicit it? In requirement specification, you see non-functional requirement and functional models. After this requirement elicitation, we have to make the analysis. For that dynamic model we can design. We can design analysis object model. We can make the analysis model as a dynamic and analysis model. Once we have we have analyzed, then we have to go to the system design. If there is any problem into the analysis, we have to again go to the requirement elicitation with the help of user and client, and again make is that information is acquired for functional model purpose or non-functional purpose. Then again we have to make the analysis model, is that dynamic model or analysis object model. If that is dynamic model, then we have to design the system. If that information is related to the analysis object model, then we have to design the object of the software. Like this product of requirement elicitation and analysis, we can design a activity diagram. Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There is a natural tendency for users and developers to postpone difficult decision until later in the project. Natural tendency of user as well as developer is that they can postpone the difficult decision until later in the project. So a decision may be difficult because of the lack of domain knowledge. As a developer, suppose we got a difficult project beyond our domain, like we want to design a medical equipment. We want to design a software for medical coronavirus detection purpose. Then it will difficult to us because that is not our domain. So beyond the domain, there is a chance of lacks of technology knowledge, as well as as well as or simple because of the disagreement among the users and the developer. Sometime what happen, there is a difficulty into the software development process, and that difficulty we postponed. Our tendency is that we postpone that difficult component. Difficult user also left that things, and developer also. Why? Because that is beyond our knowledge, as well as there is a lack of technology. Suppose we don't have the enough equipment to design software, then we will leave that things. The postponing decision enables the project to move on smoothly and avoid confrontation with reality or peers. If we postpone our decision, our work will be work smoothly. Confirmation with reality or peers. Suppose we have a difficult component to software development and we postpone that. What happen? Our work will be work smoothly. We are avoiding that. So uh, avoid the confirmation with reality and peers. We have avoided the confirmation about reality. In reality there will be problem in future. We are going away from that problem. Unfortunately, difficult decision eventually must be made after at high cost when intrinsic problems are discovered during the testing, or worse, during the user evaluation. Suppose we have left that component, we postpone that design, then what happen at the last? That will be difficult to us. That will difficult to us to again correct that component into our software. So we should not do like this. Translating a requirement specification into a formal or semi-formal model force developer to identify and resolve difficult issues earlier in the development. Therefore, we have to translating requirement specification into a formal or semi-formal model. We have to transform which information we have collected from user and from client into the analysis. We have to make there some smallest object, some smallest model, formal model as well as semi-formal model for forces developers to identify and resolve the many one more developers can get together and find the solution on this small object, small model. Therefore we have to make the small problem in big problem, and then that we have to distribute to the developer, and developers then resolve that difficult issue earlier into the development. Before starting to next step to into the development, developer will give us a solution for that problem. The analysis model is composed of three individual models. The functional model represented by use case and scenario. The analysis model represented by class and object diagram. And the dynamic model represented by the state machine and sequence diagram. These, uh, these are the three composed of analysis model, which are that analysis model, again functional model and dynamic model. Dynamic model represented by state machine and sequence diagram. Analysis model represented by class and object diagram, and functional model represented by class and scenario. In the previous chapter, we have described how to elicit requirement from the user and describe them as a use case and scenario. We know how to create use cases, how to create scenario, how to identify use cases into the required acquired information from user. Already we have discussed into the previous chapter. In this chapter we will describe how to refine the functional model and derive the object and the dynamic model. This leads to a more precise and complete specification as detailed as added to the analysis model. We conclude the chapter by describing management activities related to analysis. In the next section, we will define the main concept of analysis. Okay, this is an overview of analysis. Figure 5.3. The analysis model is composed of the functional model, the object model, and the dynamic model. In UML, the functional model is represented with use case diagram. The object model is the object model with class diagram and dynamic model with state machine diagram. In this diagram, you see UML diagram is shown. Functional model is represented with class diagram. Use case diagram view and analysis model consists of is association of this is we know this diamond structure shows the association. This is the class and all these are the instances of this analysis model. In analysis model there is functional model, object model and dynamic model. Functional model represent use case diagram and object model model class view diagram, dynamic model view sequence diagram and state machine diagram view. This is an overview. Analysis is composed of the functional model, the object model and dynamic model. All these are into this diagram. Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
In analysis concept, we describe the main analysis concept in particular with analysis object model and dynamic model. Then entity boundary and control objects. Then generalization and specification. We will see one by one. Analysis object model and dynamic model. The analysis model represents the system under the development from the user's point of view. The analysis model represents the system under the development, how that system will look to the users. From the user's point of view, we have to show the system into the analysis model. The analysis object model is a part of analysis model and focus on individuals concepts that are manipulated by the system, their properties and their relationship. The analysis object model depicted with UML class diagram includes classes, attributes and operations. The analysis model is an visual dictionary of the main concept visible to the users. In analysis model, we have to make the dictionary that should be visible to the users. But in the dynamic model, focus on the behavior of the system. Analysis model focus on individual concept that manipulate by the system, their properties and relationship. Okay, properties, relationship as well as UML class diagram is shown into the analysis model, and it includes classes, attributes, and operations which perform into the software. The analysis model is a visual dictionary of the main concept visible to the user, but in dynamic model focus on the behavior of system. For show the behavior of system, dynamic model depict with sequence diagram. In this we have to use sequence diagram, and with state machine diagram. The sequence diagram represent the interaction among the set of objects during the single use case, and the state machine diagram represent the behavior of single object or group of very tight coupled objects. The dynamic models serve to assign responsibilities to individual classes and the processes to identify new classes, association, and attributes to be added to the analysis object model. In this, we have to use sequence diagram and state machine diagram in the dynamic model. But in analysis object model, we focus on the classes, class diagram. When working with either the analysis object model or the dynamic model, it is essential to remember that these models represent users level concept, not the actual software classes or component. For example, classes such as database, subsystem, session manager, network should not be appear in the analysis model, as the user is completely shielded from this concept. When working with dynamic model, it is essential to remember that the user level concept, not actually the software classes or the component. User level concept which we have acquired from user is not the actual software classes or component. We have to think like database, subsystem, session manager, network. All these will not be the software component. As a analyst, as a software developer, we have to make the analysis and should not appear in all these into the analysis model as a user completely shield. So we have to make analysis and bring that into the design, software design. Note that most classes in the analysis object model will correspond to one or more software classes in the source code. However, the software classes will include many more attributes and associations than their analysis counterpart. One more in analysis model, suppose we have designed one model into the coding, okay, that can be associated with the one more software or one more code, one more object of the code. Therefore, it is the association than their analysis counterpart. Consequently, the analysis classes should be viewed as the higher level abstractions that will be realized in much more detail later, which is shown in figure 5.4, good and bad example of analysis object for the SatWatch example. You see this figure 5.4 example of counter example of classes in analysis object and SatWatch. The domain concept that should be represented in the analysis object model, and software classes that should be represented in analysis object model. These are the software classes and these are the domain concept. Universal time. This is example of satellite watch. There the object are universal time, time zone and location. These three objects are there. But in software classes, the analysis models are time zone database, that refers to how time zone are stored, designed, and decision. GPS locator, it denotes how location is measured, decision, and user ID refers to an individual mechanism for identification. These are the example, countermeasure example of classes in the analysis model of SatWatch. So in concept, in domain concept, we just think about the object, but during the analysis that we have to that is not the software concept, this is only the visual, and here we have to make the sequential diagrams we have to design and make the sequence. Actually there may be chance these objects can be increased or can be decreased than the domain concept. Entity boundaries and control object. Next point is the entity boundary and control object. The analysis object model consists of entity, boundary, and control object. Analysis object consists of entity, boundary, and control object, which is given in Jacobson's book in 1999. Entity. What is entity? It represents the persistent information traced by the system. Entity represent the persistent information traced by the system. Boundary objects represent the interaction between the actors and the system. Suppose this is actor and this is system. Interaction between actors and user is the boundary object. Boundary object of the system and actors. Control objects are in charge of realizing use cases. In the SatWatch example, year, month, and day are entity objects. Year, month, and day. These are the entity objects in satellite watch. And boundary, button and display. Button of the satellite watch and display of the satellite watch are the boundary object. Button will control the object, so button is the boundary object. Display of watch, how much information we can display into the watch, that is also the boundary object. Change date control is the control object. Change date control is the control object into the satellite watch. because that represent the activity of changing the date and pressing combination of the button. Change date control. There is control into the software change date control. That control is the control object of the system analysis. Entity, boundary and objects. Modeling the system with entity, boundary and control object provide developers with simple heuristic to distinguish different but related concepts. For example, the time that is traced by SatWatch has different properties than the display that depict the time. Differentiating between boundary and entity object force that distinguish. The time that is traced by the watch is represented by the time object. The display is represented by the LCD display. This approach with three object types result in smaller and more specified object. The three object type approach also lead to models that are more resilient to change. The interface to the system is more like to change than its basic functionality, represented by the entity and control object. By separating the interface from the basic functionality, we are able to keep most of the model untouched. When, for example, the user interface change, but the entity object do not. Then, to distinguish between different type of object, UML provides stereotype mechanism to enable the developer to attach such meta information to model elements. For example, in figure 5.5, we attach the control in stereotype to the change date control object. This stereotype we will use into the UML diagram. You see the figure, year, entity, then control and boundary. These are the three analysis model: entity model, control model and boundary model. Entity model, year, date, time are the entity model. In year, month and date entity. These are the extended. Stereotype is used for this purpose. And control. How we will change this month, year or date with the control object. What is the control object here? The change date control is the object for change the year, month and time. Boundaries of this control change date and all these entities. Therefore, there is the button boundary class for analysis, boundary analysis model. There is button like LCD display. In LCD display, we can see the boundaries of the text, limited information we have there because there is the boundary. As well as for the button, there are controls, there are boundaries. If we press button 1, then minutes will be blink. If we press button 2, then minutes will be changed. If we press again button 1, then minute will be blink. If we press again button 1, then day will be blink. Month, day, year will blink if we press the button 1 of the satellite watch. Why? Because there is the boundary into the program to that button. This is analysis class for the watch example. So in addition to stereotype, we may also use naming convention for clarity, and recommended distinguishing the three different type of object of the uh, syntactical basis. Control object may have the suffix control appended to their name, and boundary object may be named to clearly denote an interface feature. Example including the suffix from button display. The boundary entity object usually do not have any suffix appear to their name. Another benefit of this name convention is that the type of the classes is represented even when the UML stereotype is not available. For example, when examining only the source code. So, like this, we have seen the introduction of the analysis. If you have any doubt regarding the introduction into this analysis, you ask me question. And in next lecture, we will see generalization and specification. Do you have any question? Yes. Do you have any question regarding the introduction of analysis? Is there any question? Analysis, object model and dynamic model.
No, sir. Sir,
Yes.
एनालिसिस ओवरव्यू ये जो फर्स्ट 2 पॉइंट्स बताए ना आपने वो एक्सप्लेन कीजिए ना सर हिंदी में.
Is it?
नो सर फर्स्ट स्लाइड इसके और प्रीवियस. सर ओवरव्यू फर्स्ट स्लाइड बताए थे ना.
Yes, yes. An overview of analysis. Okay. Analysis focus on producing the model of the system called analysis model, which is correct, complete, consist. Analysis means what? Designing the correct model, designing the complete model, and designing consistent model which should be verified model. So analysis is different from the requirement elicitation. Requirement collection, data collection is not the analysis. After data collection, we have to make the analysis into that. And for that, what we have to do? We have to talk with the user during the analysis. If there any problem, if there any uh, insufficient information, to make that gap fulfill, to make information sufficient, we have to talk with the user, as the analyst model may not be understandable to the user and client, but developer need to upgrade, and that should be understandable to the client and users. So you see in this example activity diagram, analysis model, once you have requirement elicited, then in that information we have to find the requirement specification. Is that information is functional or non-functional. According to that, we have to make the analysis. If requirement is non-functional, then make the analysis and dynamic model we have to design. Analysis model we have to design. If we are designing dynamic model, then system design is there and analysis model object design is there. Again, in analysis there are two parts, dynamic and analysis object. In dynamic, system design is there. In analysis model, object design is there. In dynamic model, there state machine diagram we will design. There is natural tendency of user and developer to postpone the difficult task. That is natural tendency. If something is difficult to design, we will postpone that. But one day what happen, we will go again into the difficulty. Postponed is not the solution. It is smooth. If we postpone that work, our another task will work smoothly and we will reach at the next step. But if we come back again to the previous step at last, then that will be very difficult to do. So unfortunately, difficult decision eventually must be made with making their small object and talking with other developer. How we have to find out the solution in difficult situations? We have to make that problem into the small objects and use the heuristics or use the experienced developer into design of that or analysis of that object, difficult objects. So there is model is composed with three individuals model. These are the functional model, analysis model and dynamic model. Functional model represent use cases. For functional model, suppose we need printout from the computer. That is the function of software. If we click on the print button, then and then printer will be start. So design like this functional model, there will be use case, suppose a computer, and another use case will be printer. Okay, and the analysis model represent the class and object diagram. How this software design will be, where this print button, first we know in every software in file menu there is new button, after that save, then save as, and then print, edit, like these buttons are there. How this class will be, we have to write into the analysis object model. And lastly the object diagram, and the lastly dynamic model represent the state machine and sequence diagram. In state machine diagram, what we will do, we will design all the workflow. Suppose this is our computer and this is our printer. When this printer will start, for this purpose there will be actor. What actor will do, he will start one activity. Which activity he will start? Print. He will click into the software on print button, then what happen, printer will be start. Like this sequence diagram or state machine diagram we can represent into the dynamic model. We know the use cases and scenario. Till this lecture we already seen use cases and scenario. and in this analysis chapter we will see dynamic model, analysis model, and functional model. These three model we will see in all this chapter. Which three models? Which three models? Functional model, object model, and dynamic model. Functional model, object model, and dynamic model. All these three model we will discuss in all this chapter. If you have any doubt, any question on this, you can ask. You keep in mind, for functional model we can write use case diagram. In object model we can write class diagram, and in dynamic model we write state machine diagram and sequence diagram. Is it understood,
Yes, sir.
Asiya?
Thank you, sir. And no more question.
Okay, in detail we will see in next lecture. If you have any doubt, you can ask me question. Otherwise, we will stop here. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.